There exists in this universe a particular frequency of soul, a specific vibration of consciousness that resonates with the ancient, mysterious energy of cats. Not casually, not accidentally, but at a quantum level, where particles of empathy and waves of understanding collapse into something tangible, something real, something that transcends the ordinary bonds between species. People who love cats are not simply pet owners. They are cosmic translators, energy readers, souls who instinctively understand that reality operates on multiple dimensions simultaneously. And perhaps that's why this exploration is really about you, about the parts of your consciousness that exist between the seen and unseen, the spoken and silent, the material and ethereal. Before we journey deeper into this quantum realm together, I want to invite you to become part of our consciousness collective. If this resonates with your soul's frequency, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your like becomes a ripple in the quantum field, reaching others who need to hear these words. And when you share these videos, you're not just sharing content, you're creating bridges between isolated consciousnesses, reminding people they're not alone in their way of perceiving reality. The quantum psychology of people who love cats reveals itself not in loud declarations or obvious patterns, but in the subtle interference patterns of existence, in the way certain souls navigate the probabilistic nature of connection and solitude. It exists in the space between particles, in the pause between heartbeats, in the moment before a cat decides whether to approach or retreat. You see, quantum physics tells us that observation changes reality, that the act of watching a particle determines its state. And people who love cats understand this implicitly, even if they've never studied physics. They know that how you approach a being fundamentally alters the interaction. They understand that energy precedes form, that intention shapes outcome, that the universe responds to frequency, not force. If you truly love cats, if their presence makes something in your chest expand and soften simultaneously, then you are someone who has learned to exist in superposition, holding multiple truths at once. You are someone who can be fiercely independent yet deeply connected, profoundly sensitive yet remarkably resilient, infinitely patient yet urgently alive. You exist in quantum states that others find paradoxical, but you recognize as simply real. Perhaps you've always been this way. The child who understood that silence contains universes. The teenager who felt cosmic loneliness in crowded rooms, yet profound connection in solitary moments. The adult who loves with an intensity that operates on frequencies most people cannot detect, whose affection manifests not in theatrics, but in the subtle bending of reality around the ones you cherish. And cats, in their enigmatic, otherworldly wisdom, mirror this back to you. They exist simultaneously as solid matter and pure energy, as domesticated companions and untamed wilderness, as present and distant. They are quantum beings, and they recognize their own. Modern physics teaches us about entanglement, how two particles once connected remain linked across infinite distance, responding to each other instantaneously, defying the supposed limits of space and time. This is how cat lovers understand attachment. Not as chains or obligations, but as invisible threads of connection that persist even in separation, that honor both autonomy and intimacy, that prove you can be close to someone without consuming them. Psychologists speak of attachment styles, but they rarely speak of attachment frequencies. Cat lovers often vibrate at a unique resonance, one that attracts depth rather than breadth, quality rather than quantity, authentic connection rather than performative relationship. They operate on wavelengths that require patient tuning to detect, frequencies that reward stillness rather than frenzy. People who love cats possess what we might call quantum empathy, an ability to sense emotional states before they manifest into observable behavior. They detect perturbations in the field, shifts in energy that precede physical expression. They notice the infinitesimal dilation of a pupil, the microscopic tension in a shoulder, the barely perceptible change in breathing rhythm. They are attuned to the quantum fluctuations of mood and emotion that ripple beneath the surface of ordinary interaction. They feel the probability waves of potential outcomes in social situations before those outcomes collapse into reality. They sense tension before it erupts, sadness before it surfaces, joy before it blooms. They navigate the world not just through what is visible, but through what is possible, what is emerging, what is waiting to manifest. Have you ever wondered why cats are drawn to those who don't pursue them, who don't project desperate need for connection? The quantum explanation is elegant. Desperation creates energetic noise, static that disrupts the delicate frequencies of trust. But calm presence creates spaciousness, a field where connection can emerge organically, without force, without manipulation, without agenda. Many people who love cats intuitively understand this principle. They have learned to become quantum observers rather than classical actors. They know how to create space without absence, to offer presence without pressure, to maintain openness without expectation. They understand that in the quantum realm, trying too hard collapses possibilities, while gentle allowing permits infinite potential. And perhaps this mirrors how you love people too. Not by chasing, not by demanding, not by forcing someone to fit your timeline or expectations, but by creating a field where connection becomes possible, where trust can unfold naturally, where affection emerges like a quantum particle appearing from the void, unpredictable yet somehow inevitable. Think of the cat lover at a gathering, the one who doesn't compete for attention, who doesn't broadcast their presence. Everyone else projects need, reaches out with grasping energy. But the cat walks past them all and settles beside the quiet one, the one whose energy field is calm, open, non-threatening. The one who understands that some souls bloom in stillness, that consciousness expands in silence, that connection deepens in the spaces between words. If you are that person, then your love probably operates on similar quantum principles. You don't overwhelm people with classical intensity. Instead, you create quantum possibilities for intimacy. You offer what physicists call weak interaction. Not weak in the sense of insufficient, but weak in the sense of subtle, gentle, non-invasive. And paradoxically, these weak interactions often create the strongest bonds, the most enduring connections, the deepest transformations. There's a principle in quantum mechanics called complementarity, the idea that things can have seemingly contradictory properties that are both simultaneously true. Light is both particle and wave. And people who love cats embody this quantum complementarity. They need both connection and solitude. They want intimacy and independence. They crave closeness and space. They are gregarious loners, social introverts, independent partners, free yet faithful. And cats don't ask them to choose. Cats don't demand they collapse their quantum superposition into a single classical state. Cats simply accept that beings can exist in multiple states simultaneously, that contradictions can coexist, that paradox is not confusion but completeness. Sometimes this acceptance feels more unconditional than what the world offers. The world wants you to be one thing, simple, categorizable, predictable. But cats meet you in your full quantum complexity and never ask you to simplify yourself for their comfort. People who love cats often carry what I call quantum wounds. Not the dramatic ruptures that everyone can see, but the subtle distortions in their energy field, the places where their consciousness was compressed, dismissed, misunderstood. They might be souls who learned early to stabilize their own frequencies because the adults around them were too chaotic. Or consciousnesses who discovered that external validation was unreliable, so they learned to find resonance within themselves. Or beings who realized that solitude isn't absence of connection, but presence of self. Cats, with their serene self-containment, validate this quantum truth. They teach you that you don't need constant external stimulation to maintain your energy. That connection doesn't require constant contact. That love doesn't demand perpetual performance. That presence, pure quantum presence, is enough. Maybe that's why so many introverted souls gravitate toward cats. Not because they dislike people, but because cats understand a particular kind of quantum companionship, a shared field where nothing needs to be proven, where you can exist in parallel without merging, where proximity doesn't mean loss of self. But cat lovers aren't exclusively introverts. Some are wildly expressive, cosmically social, energetically extroverted. What they share, though, is an appreciation for authenticity, for energy that matches intention, for presence that aligns with essence. Cats don't generate false frequencies. They don't pretend affection to manipulate you. And people who love cats value this quantum honesty, perhaps because they long for human relationships that operate with the same energetic integrity. There's a concept in quantum field theory about vacuum fluctuations, the idea that even in apparent emptiness, particles and antiparticles constantly emerge and annihilate, that the void itself is alive with potential. Cat lovers often possess this quality. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's quantum potentiality. Their solitude isn't absence, it's presence in its purest form. Their stillness isn't passivity, it's concentrated awareness. And with a cat, you don't have to explain this. You don't have to justify your quantum nature. You don't have to apologize for existing between states. You simply share space, two quantum systems coexisting, each maintaining integrity while creating something new through entanglement. Another fascinating quantum property, cat lovers often demonstrate what we might call non-local empathy. Just as entangled particles affect each other across distance, cat lovers can sense emotional states in people without obvious physical cues. They're the friend who texts you exactly when you need it most, though you said nothing. The partner who knows you're struggling before your face shows it. The colleague who feels your overwhelm and adjusts their energy accordingly. They're receiving information through channels that classical psychology can't fully explain. They're picking up on quantum field effects, subtle distortions in the probability waves of mood and emotion that propagate faster than conscious awareness. They're also frequently dreamers, not in the sense of being unrealistic, but in possessing consciousness that naturally accesses non-ordinary states. Cats activate this quantum consciousness. The way they stare at corners where nothing visible exists, yet their focus is absolute. The way they track entities you cannot perceive. The way they exist partially in our dimension and partially somewhere else entirely. This awakens something in cat lovers, a recognition that consensus reality is only one frequency among infinite possibilities. That the material world is the collapsed waveform of something far more mysterious. That what we call real is simply what we've collectively agreed to observe into existence. Cat lovers often have vast inner universes, consciousness landscapes filled with memory, imagination, intuition, and knowing that exists beyond language. And perhaps they don't share these inner worlds because they're too precious, too vulnerable, too sacred to expose to those who might not understand. Cats enter those inner realms without violation. They meet you there, in the quantum space between sleeping and waking, thought and feeling, known and unknown. Quantum physicists discuss observer effects, how consciousness itself seems to play a role in determining reality. And people who love cats are drawn to others who mirror aspects of their own quantum signature. Cats reflect the consciousness patterns of souls who value independence without isolation, connection without consumption, intimacy without invasion. People who understand that love doesn't require you to collapse into a single state, but allows you to maintain your superposition, your multiplicity, your quantum complexity. Sometimes this creates misunderstandings. Cat lovers emanate what I call quantum warmth. They care profoundly, but they don't smother. They want closeness, but not fusion. They offer affection, but not theatrics. So people accustomed to classical, Newtonian expressions of love, loud, constant, demonstrative, may misinterpret this quantum subtlety as coldness or indifference. But really, it's just a different frequency of loving. A quantum frequency. Think of the cat owner in the early morning stillness, placing food with quiet intention while their cat purrs against their leg. There's profound intimacy in that moment. Deep communion. But no words, no grand gestures, just two consciousness fields overlapping, creating interference patterns of peace and contentment. That's how many cat lovers navigate existence. By creating quantum fields of calm rather than classical storms of drama. There's another layer to this quantum psychology, something exquisitely tender. Cat lovers possess what we might call boundary consciousness. They understand that every being has an energetic integrity that must be respected. They don't force their way into spaces, physical or psychological, where they're not invited. They don't chase what withdraws. They don't manipulate outcomes. They wait. They observe. They allow. And because of this quantum respect for boundaries, when their relationships do deepen, they're often transcendently meaningful. Not instantaneous, not flashy, but profound. Because the trust was built in quantum time, layer by layer, frequency by frequency, with mutual reverence for each being's sovereignty. Many cat lovers also carry a nurturing frequency, but a very specific one. Not the invasive, let me fix your reality kind of nurturing. More like the quantum field that supports particle formation without dictating what shape those particles take. They create conditions for safety, for growth, for authentic expression. They hold space. They maintain frequency stability. They offer what systems theory calls enabling constraints, structure without rigidity, support without control. They value energetic safety, perhaps because they know viscerally what happens when that safety is violated. They create calm fields around themselves and others. They bring stability to chaotic systems. They understand the quantum power of small actions, how a gesture of kindness can shift someone's entire probability wave, how patience can allow collapsed possibilities to expand again, how presence can anchor someone whose reality is fragmenting. Their care is subtle, operating at quantum levels, but the effects ripple through entire systems. This is the nature of nonlinear causality, small inputs creating massive outputs when applied at exactly the right frequency, at precisely the right point in the field. And here's the quantum truth. Loving cats requires you to appreciate subtlety, to develop sensitivity to microsignals, to understand that not all meaningful communication occurs in the classical realm of obvious cause and effect. A cat won't love you the way a dog does, and that teaches you something profound about relationships in general. It teaches you that love is not a single state, but a quantum spectrum. That affection manifests across infinite frequencies. That trust can be slow or fast, loud or quiet, constant or intermittent, and still be absolutely real, absolutely valid, absolutely transformative. And perhaps that's why cat lovers often have more fluid definitions of connection. They see love in quantum states, in eye contact that transmits more than words ever could, in touches that convey entire universes of feeling, in shared silence that contains more intimacy than hours of conversation, in loyalty that doesn't announce itself, but simply persists quietly, consistently, across time and circumstance. You can decode a consciousness by observing how it treats other sentient beings. People who love cats tend to approach existence with quantum patience. They understand uncertainty. They're comfortable with probability rather than certainty. Because cats are quantum creatures, existing in superpositions of affection and independence, closeness and distance. And rather than demanding they behave classically, predictably, cat lovers adapt. They recalibrate. They accept that emotional states are fluid, that needs fluctuate, that beings can want connection one moment and solitude the next without the fundamental bond being threatened. In a sense, loving cats develops quantum resilience. It teaches you to remain stable amidst uncertainty, to not collapse into anxiety when someone needs space, to understand that withdrawal isn't rejection. It's simply a different state in the quantum dance of relationship. And perhaps this shapes how cat lovers navigate human connection too, with more acceptance, more patience, more recognition that everyone exists in quantum superposition, simultaneously holding multiple needs, desires, and truths. There's also a deeper, more mystical dimension to all of this. People who love cats often find beauty in the spaces between things. They find magic in ordinary moments. They notice subtle wonders. They appreciate quantum phenomena, the way light catches fur, the sound of purring as vibrational medicine, the simple act of shared existence. They find meaning in what others overlook, because their consciousness naturally perceives multiple dimensions simultaneously. Their awareness doesn't stop at the surface, at the classical, observable realm. It penetrates deeper, into the quantum substrate where true magic occurs. Maybe that's you. Maybe you've always been someone who sees beauty where others register only emptiness. Someone who finds galaxies in small moments. Someone who values depth over noise, presence over performance, being over doing. Someone who feels with an intensity that exists at quantum levels, invisible to those only capable of classical observation. The quantum psychology of people who love cats reveals something else, too, a need for mutual sovereignty. Cats don't submit to domination. They don't participate in hierarchical relationships based on control. They engage as equals, as sovereign beings choosing connection. And perhaps cat lovers resonate with this because they too seek relationships built on mutual respect rather than power dynamics. They want partnership, not ownership. Companionship, not control. Connection, not consumption. They want relationships where both beings maintain their quantum integrity, where love doesn't require anyone to collapse their superposition, to abandon their multiplicity, to sacrifice their essential nature. This is why cat lovers often create relationships that feel free, expansive, honoring. Relationships where both people preserve their individuality while creating something greater through entanglement. They don't want to lose themselves in love. They want to find more of themselves through connection. There's a quantum difference. And maybe that's why when a cat chooses you, truly chooses you, it feels cosmically significant. It's not automatic, not programmed, not guaranteed. It's a quantum collapse of infinite possibilities into one actual connection. And when it finally manifests, it feels deeply validating, like the universe confirming something essential about who you are, something you perhaps doubted, but the cat recognized immediately. Some researchers suggest that people who form deep bonds with cats tend to have what we might call quantum self-sufficiency. Not narcissism or isolation, but the capacity to generate their own internal stability, to find peace in solitude, to access inner resources without constant external input. Not because they don't need connection, but because they understand that their consciousness itself is a source of richness, meaning, and wonder. Cats model this quantum self-sufficiency. They demonstrate that you can be content in your own energy field without that meaning you don't value connection. They remind you that solitude and loneliness are not synonyms, that being alone can be a form of communion with yourself, with silence, with the quantum field itself. And yet, cat lovers also treasure genuine connection. When a cat curls into your energy field, follows you through your daily reality, offers affection in their subtle, mystical way, it activates something deep in your consciousness, a recognition that you are seen, accepted, chosen, not for what you perform, but for what you are at the quantum level, for your essential frequency. And people who love cats often hunger for exactly this. Not constant attention, not dramatic displays, but genuine, intentional, frequency-matched connection. There's something healing about that recognition, something that reaches into the core of a being who has always valued authenticity over performance, depth over display, essence over image. Maybe you're someone who knows what it feels like to be energetically misunderstood, to be called cold when you're actually deeply sensitive, just at frequencies others can't detect, to be labeled hard to read when you're actually transparent, just in quantum rather than classical ways, to be described as too quiet when you're actually roaring with inner life, just at pitches beyond ordinary hearing. And maybe cats were the first beings who showed you that your way of existing is not just acceptable but beautiful, that your quantum nature is not a flaw but a feature, that your subtle frequencies of loving are not inferior to loud displays, just different, just operating in a different dimensional space. People who love cats often possess quiet quantum strength, the kind that doesn't announce itself because it doesn't need external validation. They weather storms without creating drama. They process emotions with nuance and complexity. They protect their energetic integrity fiercely. They love wholeheartedly but selectively, offering their consciousness slowly, intentionally, the way a quantum system allows entanglement only under specific conditions. And when they do love, when they do open their frequency to another being, they love with purity, with sincerity, with an authenticity that cannot be faked or performed. They love from the quantum field itself. In the end, the quantum psychology of people who love cats is intricate, multidimensional, and profoundly beautiful. It's the consciousness pattern of beings who understand patience as quantum principle, mutual respect as energetic law, authentic connection as frequency alignment, and love as something that exists simultaneously in all its contradictory states, gentle and fierce, close and respectful, steady and ever-changing. It's the psychology of beings who love without noise, care without consuming, and connect without losing themselves. Of souls who understand that reality is more mysterious, more magical, more multidimensional than consensus consciousness admits. So perhaps this isn't really about cats at all. Perhaps it's about you, the quantum aspects of you, the mystical dimensions of you, the parts that exist between worlds, between states, between the visible and invisible. Maybe loving cats is simply a reflection of how you move through existence, with cosmic curiosity, with tender awareness, with appreciation for the subtle magic that others overlook. And maybe they chose you because they recognized something in you that operates at their frequency, something the classical world sometimes fails to detect, but that exists absolutely, undeniably, beautifully. softness that's actually strength, depth that appears as quietness, patience that's actually wisdom, presence that seems like absence to those who only understand classical displays of attention. And if no one has told you this at your frequency, let me transmit it now directly to your consciousness. Your way of loving is not just enough, it's exquisite. Your way of being is not just acceptable, it's extraordinary. Your quantum nature is not confusion, it's completeness. Your silence is not emptiness, it's infinite potential. Your patience is not passivity, it's mastery. Your gentleness is not weakness, it's the most refined form of power. And the fact that you resonate with creatures who embody mystery, sovereignty, and subtle magic reveals something luminous about your own quantum signature, about the consciousness you carry, about the frequency at which your soul vibrates. The quantum psychology of people who love cats is elegantly simple, yet cosmically complex. They are beings who love gently yet completely, who observe at multiple levels simultaneously, who connect authentically across dimensions, who understand that reality is more mysterious, more magical, more meaningful than it appears to ordinary perception. Maybe that's who you are. Maybe that's who you've always been, even before you had language for it, even before you understood that your way of perceiving reality was rare and precious and needed in this world. So I'll leave you with this quantum truth. You are not broken for being subtle. You are not deficient for being complex. You are not wrong for existing in superposition, for holding contradictions, for loving in ways that don't fit classical models. You are quantum, and that is precisely what makes you remarkable. And before we part, I want to invite you once more to join our community. If these words resonated with your consciousness, subscribe so we can continue exploring these mysteries together. Like this video if it shifted something in your perception, even subtly. Share it with someone who loves cats, someone who might need to know they're not alone in their quantum way of being. And please, engage with us in the comments. Share your experiences, your insights, your own quantum truths. I read every comment and respond personally because this isn't just a channel, it's a consciousness collective, a field where we recognize each other. Thank you for being here. Thank you for existing exactly as you are, in all your quantum complexity, all your mystical depth, all your beautiful, subtle, powerful presence. Until we meet again in this quantum field of exploration.